welcome to an all-new episode of Much Ado About Nothing, the show where me and Joel take our love for nothing and force you to listen to it. I'm your host, Juwaan. Join with me, as always, is Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up, Juwaan?
I am ready to talk about what I'm hearing about Morbius. So let's get right into it. Obviously, Morbius has been pushed back to April 1st of this year. Don't worry, it will not become New Mutants.
We hope not.
Well, I can only say it won't become New Mutants because I think we can all address that we'll have given up caring long before it becomes what New Mutants was. If it moves again, I won't care about this movie.
New Mutants really became the movie no one gave a shit about. That's because 100%. That became. I mean, that's because at that point the mergers happened. Right. This movie's not going anywhere.
I mean, you were here with me. I said numerous times, just throw the movie in the garbage, only for me to watch it and go, "Damn, I love this movie." It's really good.
It was fun.
Okay, so this isn't a rumor at all. This isn't coming from anyone. This is just a few people talking shit. But the few people talking shit are talking shit, saying it being pushed back could be to add in a end credit scene that I thought was interesting. And I'm sure you can guess what that end credit scene was, Joel. No? Andrew Garfield's Spider.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, I will say I'd be for it. I'd also say you didn't need to push this movie back to do so. I'd even also say if you're going to bring Andrew Garfield back, then you probably should have kept in the end credit scenes from the theatrical No Way Home movie that were rumored, which was giving us a glimpse in their lives when they got back. So if you weren't willing to do that, then just wait till you announce an Amazing Spider-Man 3. So I don't think this is being pushed back for any other reason than you're coming out in January. It's not the best month for a movie to drop. That's not a horror movie or a rom-com. I remember telling you before, I thought January was very weird for a superhero movie. But again, it got pushed back to April 1st. No, this is not a lame attempt to give you guys the April Fool's Day joke. It really did get pushed back. So, Joel, my question to you is, do you think this was more so to just widen its range on the box office? Or do you think maybe there was something else a little bit more fearing at hands for pushing it back?
I think it at least the going theory is that it's because of COVID. So I'm like, if that's what they say, fine. I'll go with it.
That scares me because Batman is like March 4th.
It's not the first time someone brought that up. That some of these movies might move just in case.
Well, I tell you this.
We've seen what happens before.
As someone who thinks they are currently dealing with COVID, I will go to the theaters to see Batman. You do not have to worry about pushing that shit back. I can promise you that. Morbius, I don't mind. I didn't need to spend a January day going to see Morbius, but a March day seeing Batman as many days as possible, I will see it. Okay, if it's because of COVID, no problem. No problem. So then that means it was expecting to do big numbers. Like big numbers.
That's what I read too. Like someone like, if they're moving, it's because they have more confidence in it than we thought.
Right. And I think maybe there is more to that movie than just Morbius. Because clearly there's some stuff in that movie that, again, like you just said, you believe will deliver. So you want it where you can optimize the most. And, I understand. No problem. Like I said, I have no issue with it being pushed back. I just know that if you push yourself back again, because I can tell you this, from the way that I see people on the internet, COVID won't get any better. So just putting it out there, Spider-Man was only a month ago and still managed to make some of the highest numbers ever for a Spider-Man movie.
A month ago, barely.
Right. barely a month ago. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, if that did it, I don't know why you think yours wouldn't. So that's why I asked, did you think it was more fear-based than anything else? Because it's like, well, you're part of that world. And again, Venom was a few months before Spider-Man, and COVID wasn't any better then.
No, it's not.
Um,
There has been it's gotten worse.
right. So it's like if Venom came out and did good numbers, Spider-Man came out and did some all-time numbers for Spider-Man movies. I don't understand the mindset. That's why that's the only reason why I posed the question to you. Did you think it was more fear-based? Um, you know,
Fear as in what? Fear
as in maybe we do need to either push it back, give it some time, or just do something else. And I know that sounds stupid. I will 100% agree with you. It just, like I said, the only reason this doesn't make sense to me is Spider-Man came out like 4 weeks ago. So it's like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's the only reason. Spider-Man came out in September. I wouldn't look at this any differently. I'd say, well, sure, but 4 weeks ago. So either you don't think this movie will do that well, or you don't think your fandom of Spider-Man will translate to your fandom of Morbius, and that's equally perplexing.
Well, it's not perplexing. There's no way that they even know that the two are in the same universe if you're not a nerd.
Okay, so let me defend why I said perplexing. It's even more perplexing because no one asked you to give us a Morbius movie. so the fact that you're giving it to us means you're trying to sell people who don't know Morbius. And I would assume the best way to do that is as much connectivity closest to the last Spider-Man movie that came out, which is why I said, if there is something in it, market it. Market it and get people who have no idea who this person is to feel as though it's connected to Spider-Man till you tell them that it's connected to Spider-Man. So,
aside from Spider-Man's poster being in the movie.
Right. Yes. 100%. 100%. Mainly because then you get from them the biggest question of like, well, why didn't they say anything in No Way Home? Well, he was doing shit. So, that's probably why. Spider-Man was too busy to worry about a vampire.
Yeah, we know this Morbius is not in the MCU, so it's just a matter of where's everything going.
Which is why
what is Sony doing now?
Which is why when the Andrew Garfield thing was said, it was interesting to me because I'm like, well, clearly Venom and Morbius are in the same universe, and clearly a Spider-Man is in that Morbius universe. I don't have a problem.
Or else why call it a Spider-Man universe?
Exactly.
You need a Spider-Man at some point.
Exactly. And look, Andrew Garfield so far is the only one out of the three Spider-Men that either hasn't had a Venom or didn't plan on having a Venom. So you shoehorning his last movie in to be Venom to kind of loop off Tom Hardy and his Spider-Man. Again, I'm with you. Do I need two Spider-Mans? No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
Here we are. Did I need two Batman? No, I did not.
I don't need two Superman, three Superman. I don't need
four of them.
Any of that. Yeah, I don't need any of that. But I'm intrigued because you look at me. Let's just speak me and you only. Me and you didn't leave Venom thinking they were the worst movies ever, right?
No.
So it's like I think Sony could improve on the last mishap they had of a non-Marvel Spider-Man movie. So I'm like, I would be interested to see how they would loop off Andrew Garfield's story, especially having him take on Morbius, maybe take on Venom, maybe. I'd be very interested. That's all I'm saying. If they came out tomorrow and said, no, we're never doing it, no problem. No hurt feelings here. But if they came out and said they are looking to do it, I'd be the first one saying, I am curious to see what you do, because I can tell you this, that fandom will not let him go if you try to tell them, no, we're just doing it so he gets 3 movies. That won't happen, Jack.
That don't make sense.
Yeah, right. That's my point. So if you're Sony, you got to think long and hard. Very, very, very long and hard. Because if you're that desperate to do a Spider-Man movie, just do Miles. Just do Miles. That way it works forever. It works forever.
I do believe that at this point, and why they shouldn't do Miles is because I think they're not going to step on Tom Holland's feet. So what they will do is kind of do what DC is doing with Michael Keaton's Batman, is that Spider-Man in his own universe, fucking weird, will not get solo movies. So play a supporting role.
So you mean like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man could be the linchpin for Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen, stuff like that?
Yeah, stuff
Maybe
like
like a Spideyverse.
When you have a Spideyverse, I mean nothing's off the table. But I mean, whatever they're fucking building in that universe, not the extended Spideyverse, because I don't know if there's a Spider-Gwen movie, I have no idea if that's going to be connected to anything but itself. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what's confusing, because you told me Spider-Woman is an MCU product.
I think it's an MCU product.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem.
And that's different than Spider-Gwen.
No. I'm just saying Spider-Woman, I would assume, would be part of that. But again, you wouldn't connect the dots of Spider-Woman in a whole new Spider-Man. This is the problem we said you would get in if you're Sony and you couldn't figure out a way to share the universe. And that problem being, you've now created so many complex characters that people are now invested in that you now don't have a Spider-Man for. So now it leads us to do things like we're doing now and theorize on how you can utilize a Spider-Man without making Tom Holland go, well, I'm alive, right? Like, I swing from webs. Why'd you go get someone else? But that's why I'm saying Andrew Garfield coming back could be really intriguing, because, again, not saying this is where they're going, but if you do a Spider-Verse, his Spider-Man would be a really interesting version of the Spider-Man we got from Into the Spider-Verse. That was kind of just like a really shitty Spider-Man, because he would be playing one that's just been doing it for so long. So it'd be interesting to see what comes of this, and if there is anything in this Morbius. We'll find out soon. Comes out April 1st. If they do any additional reshoots or any additional scenes or whatever the case may be, that will not be something we find out in the movie. That's for sure. We will know well on before that movie even comes out. So it'll be interesting to see what they pull. And again, doesn't Craven come out the top of next year?
Yes.
Yeah. So fucking confusing, bro. Jesus.
Well, I mean, to me, it makes more sense now, because we know it's not connected to the MCU. So now it's its own thing. So they need a Spider-Man in that universe for it to fucking make sense. So if it's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, cool. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. If they do what we're going to talk about in a second, what DC is looking to do, and they just make that world from Spider-Woman, would you be cool with that?
As the main Spider-Woman?
Mm-hmm.
No, I would not be cool with that.
Oh,
because it's called the Spider-Man whatever universe. No, I would not be cool with that. Spider-Woman has nothing at all to do with Spider-Man.
No, I know, but I only said that because, again, it's a way to just do it to where there's just no confusion on why there's a Spider-Man here and why there's a Spider-Man there, when you've been trying your best to connect the two, and now you're finding a way to ostracize them even more. Like, it doesn't make anything any simpler. So that's the only reason why I was asking. That's the only reason. But I mean, look, it all depends. It depends. If it is a shared Spider-Woman, I'd be interested to see what Feige's interest in Spider-Woman is rather. Because it's just a character that you would just ultimately believe you would let Sony do whatever they wanted to with it. Like, your interest was only Spider-Man. That was it, period. Nothing else. No other intangibles. Just
we don't know that. He could like Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew. They did try to push her pretty hard in the early 2000s. Not early, like mid 2000s. Because when the New Avengers became a thing, it was like Ms. Marvel, Spider-Woman.
Push her as what?
Push her as a prominent female.
Oh, as a character. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because look, there were none for the longest time. For the longest time. So when New Avengers became a thing, and they added like Spider-Man and Wolverine to the team, that's how they started selling money. I mean, selling more books. But they also had Luke Cage, Spider Woman, and Ms. Marvel got big pushes. I call them pushes like it's wrestling, but it's kind of what it was. You know, the character gets a push. And Ms. Marvel obviously became Captain Marvel, and she broke out. Spider Woman kind of stayed behind. They got her pregnant and weird shit. Didn't really go as far, but she did become more prominent in the MCU. But she kind of fell wayward. And again, I think it's her name. You got to just change her fucking name. She has nothing to do with Peter. Stop. Why is she Spider Woman? It just never made sense.
No, I'm with you there because you correct me every time we talk about her. But I mean, it's mind-boggling. That'd be like saying, "Hey, there's a Batwoman," but she has never seen Batman or been near Batman.
She has no connection to
Batman.
Right.
It's like, well, why would she call herself that? Like,
exactly.
Why not do something else?
It's so stupid. But that's what it is. I mean,
which is going to be interesting for them because you're going to have to sell that. That's why I said it's very interesting. Feige may, let me make sure I'm prefacing that, may have interest in taking that on because that's going to the mainstream, that's going to take a while to kind of sink in. I'm calling her a name of someone you've seen, but she has nothing to do with that someone you've seen. Like, not even like inspiration.
It sounds confusing.
Or, right.
I don't get it.
Where is she from in the comics?
What do you mean?
Like city? What city was she? Did she reside in?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Because I'm like, shit. If you say she resides in New York, that's only gonna make shit worse.
Well, I knew she was a Shield agent, Hydra agent, stuff like that.
Okay.
Stuff like that. She was a spy. She was a spy, and her powers, like, she could fly and she could shoot like these green electrical bolts. It's weird. She has pheromones where she can like attract you and shit like that. So her powers are not even the same.
Like, maybe do something with Fury and what he's doing up in space with her. She gets her powers cosmically, and that's how she's able to. It still wouldn't explain the name, because you're gonna have a lot of people sitting in that theater waiting for a spider to bite the shit out of her, only for you to go, well, no spider.
Right. That's why it's confusing, because like, I don't get it. Well, no one does.
And we both know that after all this time, they're not going to change her name. So again, it'll be interesting. I mean, we've done things like this, talking about what Feige will do with the X-Men and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, we just go, look, we trust Feige to make it work. So if Spider-Woman is something that does end up being part MCU, part Sony, I'll be very intrigued because, again, it is not a character I would have expected them to utilize. So it's, again, it'll be interesting. I remember watching on Disney Plus the cartoon.
The old one?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, how many times have you had to correct me that she's not part of Peter Parker's life? So I said, all right, well, I'll watch the show.
About Spider-Woman.
Apparently, nothing really sunk in, but
apparently
I watched it. It was a while ago, though, to be honest, if I'm being completely honest with you. Maybe a year and a half ago, or a year ago.
Here's the funny thing. This first Spider-Woman I knew was Julia Carpenter? Julia Carpenter. When she was black, she had like a black and white costume similar to Venom. But you could see her hair and shit. And she was in Iron Man. Wasn't she in Iron Man? I think she was in Iron Man. She was Spider-Woman. That was the first Spider-Man I knew of. And then I met Jessica Drew. But yeah, there's another Spider-Woman I just told you. Yeah. I swear she was in Iron Man. Was she not in Iron Man?
The animated series?
Yeah, the animated series.
No, I would have remembered her. There's not much I don't remember about that animated series. But I've been wrong before.
Yes, because I remember Scarlet Witch, I remember Hawkeye, I remember War Machine. I remember
and I think from that, later on in the 2000s, or later on in the 2000s, they made that horrible Avengers show, the Avengers Unite or some stupid shit like that, and it was just
with no Iron Man, no Captain America, no Thor.
Right. It's like, what the fuck are you selling me on? What is this?
Absolutely. What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, like why am I invested? Like, thank God Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
She was in it. Boop-a-doo.
She was?
Julia Carpenter.
And she was suited and booted?
I remember that's what she looked like, so I'm assuming yes.
All right.
Yeah, she was in it.
Damn,
Scarlet. Yeah, I remember. I remember that show very well.
now I gotta read. Now I gotta do another marathon of that because I don't remember that at all. I remember everyone else you're talking about. I don't remember her.
Homer. I remember Homer. He looked like Vision. Yeah, he was like and like what's it called? Whatever. Like a white image. It was like a hologram.
Oh, a hologram. Okay. I love the hand gestures. Like that was gonna cue something up.
I couldn't get it. You know.
You're like, Juwaan, remember, look at my hands. Remember, man.
Let's go. Come on.
All right, so let's move on. I thought when they released the photos of, well, not photos, but the promo art for, not promo art, the character art for, shit, what's the name of that goddamn show? Umbrella Academy.
Right.
I thought we'd be getting an announcement or a trailer soon, so very intrigued.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, that's weird. Why Netflix still hasn't announced when it comes out this year? I think it's also weird.
Give me dates.
Yeah, movies I understand doing that because you're like, will people go out to go see it? But streaming, you're home. Why would you think someone at any point this year wouldn't sit down and watch it? I don't understand that. So
absolutely
very confused. But let's keep. Guys, this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. With cuffing season right around the corner, you're going to want to satisfy your lady. And now you can with Blue Chew, which is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is very simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and are prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. With Blue Chew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code GVN at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. $5 for shipping. That's it. That's bluechew.com, promo code GVN to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details on important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring our podcast. Bit of Marvel, let's talk about Uji is rumored to be playing the main villain for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I thought you were making fun of me. I was like, what'd you just say?
No, sorry. I'll do a better job next time.
Uji.
But I'm very intrigued to see High Evolutionary. It is a rumor, but it makes the most sense, especially if you're bringing in Adam Warlock and he's not your big bad. It makes
I said last week, I think I mentioned that.
Yeah, no, you did. You 100% did. That's why it made sense to me. You explained it pretty well. So that makes sense. But if it's not, I'm going to be honest with you, Joel. There's very little of this movie I'm looking forward to. Not that I don't have any interest, but it kind of seems like for James, it's the end of the line. So it's like, well, yeah. So I'm like, well,
it's bad. Yeah.
I'm not sure how much of larger MCU ties it has because none of the other two had large MCU stakes. So I have no reason to believe this one will. So that's why I said I'm not like, oh, I can't wait for this movie kind of thing. But what are your thoughts on the rumor of us possibly getting a High Evolutionary?
I like it. I think it's about time, honestly, because I think that'll connect to Rocket's past, and we'll probably see his. Oh, sorry.
Oh, good. I'm right with you.
I do think we'll probably get some more background on Rocket, and maybe even other characters, and this might be the end for some characters, which is sad.
I think Rocket.
Maybe Rocket, maybe Drax. Who knows?
Drax, I kind of feel like, because Batista keeps saying he's done, would be just too on the nose. I think it would take the emotion out of it. Because that'd be like if Robert Downey Jr. said a year before Endgame, "Hey, this is it for me. I'm not coming back." And then Iron Man died. You'd be like, "Well, I kind of thought this was coming." Like, I kind of thought they'd probably kill you off if you didn't want to come back. So I think Rocket would be the one that hurts the most. Because Groot's died like 3 times, twice, once. I don't know.
Once.
Yeah, obviously not killing Star-Lord. Chris Pratt said he wants to do this till the day he dies. Karen Gillian, she really loves this character. So I see them continuing making Guardians movies and her being part of the team, even though that's very weird. I don't necessarily like her being part of the team. Gamora, you killed already, so killing her again would, and most would say killing her the first time didn't really strike up all that much emotion.
No, so, you brought her back, and now she's now you're looking for her.
So you know what? I'll say this, Joel: Drax or Rocket are probably the only 2 ones we see go.
It's possible. It's quite possible.
Now, I'm not pulling a Trayvon. I'm not saying I want it, but it does seem to be.
He doesn't say he wants it. He says, "I just get the vibe."
I love you,
kill people, bro.
Yeah, man. Stop trying to kill my heroes, bro. They're heroes. I need them. Like, I need them to stick around. That'd be cool. No, I love you, Trayvon. Huge shouts out to Trayvon. Yeah, to me, I hope the High Evolutionary kind of lends maybe to some more bigger galactic things, like some Eternal shit, some Celestial shit. Because I told you I would love to see High Court run by the High Evolutionary, where it's, hear me out. Remember, I told you this before. I would love it if it was, why do I keep forgetting Arishem?
The judge, though.
Right. But it's Arishem defending his side. So I would like to see someone else be the judge. And the High Evolutionary would be awesome.
I don't think High Evolutionary is a lawyer. That's what you're trying to say.
No. I'm saying the High Evolutionary being the judge of this situation. Because if you're Arishem, he's being
he's the judge. He's the judge.
It's not fair, though. Fuck that. It's not fair. It's not fair. Put someone else in power.
His decision.
Nah, fuck him.
That's his nickname. Arishem the judge.
Nah, sorry. If you're the judge, then we 100% need a jury. And we don't have a jury, so.
It was fair enough to give them a trial. You know what I mean?
That was very considerate of him. He was just like, hey, I don't see what's going on here.
These humans better be worth it. That's basically what he said.
Yeah, he said, hey, you killed my brother, so
yeah,
better be good.
My unborn brother, mother.
Right, yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Thank God Celestials aren't born from bodies, because that motherfucker came out tall. He came out legs first and everything.
Yeah, full grown.
Jesus.
All right. Destroy this universe.
Yeah, like goodness.
Create a new one.
Figure out another way to sprout yourself out and consider it. You said you were interested in the 355?
It sounded interesting.
Oh, okay. So does that mean you saw the trailer and was interested? Or
yes.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you literally meant no. The premise sounds interesting, but I won't see it. But it sounds
no. The trailer looked okay. I mean, I like that. It sounds good. I don't know if it's gonna be good.
It's fair.
But,
that is Joel's
guys from different countries. I like that. I like that idea.
Just so you guys know, that is Joel's nicest way to be mean. That is Joel's way of, you look like you're doing the right things. We'll see if you are. You know, your movie doesn't like it sucks. I do want to take the time to wish a happy birthday to Florence Pugh. Hopefully this is the year of the Pugh. Hopefully. We love you, Florence Pugh. I love you more than but whatever. I do want to go over this for you, Joel. You know, I could not care less, but I know how much you enjoy it. So, you know, I'm very unselfish when it comes to our show. Hiram Garcia says a fourth Jumanji film is happening. Quote, it's going to happen. It's going to happen for sure. We have a really big vision for that third Jumanji movie. How excited are you, Joel, to see what I assume would be the end of it, right? Do you think they make a fourth?
I don't see the purpose to keep going, but I didn't really see the purpose for the initial reboot. But I've enjoyed them, so at least they're doing a hell of a job.
You know what? And that's why I think back to our episode last week where we were yelling at each other about reboots. I was always shocked when you told me how much you enjoyed that first Jumanji movie, and I was just like,
because it was like a soft reboot.
No. That I'm not I'm not trying to make myself seem right about that conversation. I'm saying I was just shocked that you said that you enjoyed it, because the whole premise to me just looked like you were just trying too hard. All right, we're gonna do it in an archaic video game instead of an archaic board game.
I've played those arcade video games, so I thought that
you've been sucked in before.
Yeah, I've been inside the Donkey Kong, jumping over barrels.
And did you turn into me? Because everyone apparently turns into more attractive versions of themselves.
No, I was a little pudgy Italian plumber. It was weird.
Did you have a mustache?
Thick one.
That's funny. And you happen to say it's a me a lot, right?
All the time.
That's crazy.
No, actually, no. There was no it's a me at all. Actually, he was from Brooklyn. He was mad gangster. Crazy.
He had Tim's on instead of.
Yeah, they're Tim boots. That's what they were. Timberland. Back in the 80s. So he was way before his time.
Way before his time. Even though I do have to say, I don't think there's a thug on earth I'd be afraid of if he showed up in overalls.
Don't play on Mario. Will stomp on you.
Mario will stomp. Yeah, he has to jump over me to do so.
Act like it's hard.
I'll beat Mario's ass. I'll beat his ass right in front of Joel.
That motherfucker do a backflip and then jump on top of you.
I beat his ass, and then for no reason whatsoever, I beat Yoshi's ass. Beat both of their ass.
You shit you out, and you'll be sitting in the shell for an hour.
They're like, why are you beating us up? Thank Joel. He said I couldn't do it. And just how tough I was. I'm gonna beat Mario's ass. All right. So yeah. So okay. So are you excited for this third one, or are you more so curious where they go?
Curious, more than excited. I'm excited.
I'm with you, because that's how I feel about this new Scream. I told you before, I had just watched the last one before this new one. I didn't even know there was another one. I thought it was just Scream 3. And because this doesn't say Scream 5, I didn't know the number count. So I'm like, okay, Scream 3 was the last one. Cool. Interesting way to go. And then Joe was just like, did you see the one with Hayden Panettiere? And I'm like, there wasn't one with Hayden. I just saw it. Said, no, there was a 2011 one. I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Yep. And then there was a show. It was weird.
I watched Scream 4. And let me just say, if you feel as though Scream 5 didn't need to happen, watch Scream 4. Scream 4 just was like,
watch Scream 3.
Scream 2. I mean, it could have stopped one.
Yeah.
You just got worse and worse the longer you went, which is why I'm like, well, Sydney better die in this fifth one.
Oh, that's bullshit.
But she survives again. It just gives them another reason to make a 6. I'd rather you reboot it than you to keep making it with Sydney. Like, enough. Which is a shame, because I was excited for this, thinking 3 was the last one. So I'm like, well, 3 wasn't that bad. That was interesting. I can't wait to see where they go. What happened. So God bless America. The final season of Peaky Blinders, Joel, is coming. I'm actually nowhere near caught up to that show. Have you been watching it?
I have a funny adventure. Not a funny one, but it was definitely. I started it. I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I couldn't get into it. And then everyone kept telling me to watch it. And I'm like, I heard Tom Hardy was in it. I'm like, maybe. And then at some point I gave in. I'm like, I saw the trailers. I'm like, that does look good. Don't know why those first 2 episodes did not catch me at all. I was so bored. I was like, I don't know. But no, I sat there. I'm like, let me just get through the first season and see if I like it. And I sure did. I liked the first season. It just got progressively better, and I got addicted. It was good. It was really good. So
you're all caught up?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, I got to catch up. I like, and that's why I said Godfather being my all-time favorite movie always comes into play. I like talking. I like when it's just talking. And that's Peaky Blinders. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some stuff that goes down for sure, but it's story driven. It's purely story driven. It's not looking to do anything else but deliver a great story. So I'm for that. Like, I don't always need the shootouts and I'm gonna close your head in the door. I like sometimes just the progression of a good story. So I'm very intrigued to catch up and then check out this new season. But speaking of new seasons, Joel, I've never watched an episode, but you have. What's that Cara Delevingne and Orlando Bloom show that you suggested to me? You did enjoy it. Whether she's like a fairy.
Yeah. I liked it.
Don't think of the name. I'll look it up. I'm not
Carnival Row or something.
No, that's it. Carnival Row. That was it. Carnival.
Yeah, I enjoyed that show. Yes. There's some.
You excited for the new season?
Yeah, I like the first season, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, I'll make sure because you did speak highly of it, so I'll make sure that at some point I go and check it out.
I enjoyed it.
It's just I always complain. It's something else always pops up and I forget.
I started what's it called? Wheel of Time.
Love that.
It's okay. I mean, it hasn't hooked me yet, but I do like when the action starts. Like, there's something there that I like, but it's not 100%. Still has 100% hooked me yet. Like, the characters are so not well defined yet. They're all just, to me, the same shit. So there's more diversity in terms of like character. We'll see how it continues. But right now they're all clueless.
As well as I know you, I can't get a read on whether or not you'll like this series or not. I'm not sure. So I will be curious to see how you view it come finale. I watched it weekly, so I was all the way caught up. I knew nothing about this, so just so people know, I didn't read the book or anything. But I was hooked on the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks pretty good, and I watched it, and it got me from episode 1. I followed each week, and hopefully they announce season 2 very soon, and I can get that season 2 next year. But all right, let's move on. Oh, speaking of which, you remember the Miles Morales game? You remember the chick that played his friend?
Yeah, the bad guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what about
now? I'm watching the show called Yellow Jackets, right? On Showtime. You've heard of that show. You maybe haven't watched it yet, but you've heard of it.
No, but I have heard of it.
I had no idea how old she was, but she was naked in Yellow Jackets. And I didn't know how to act because I did not know how old she was. So I was just like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, obviously I know she wasn't young enough or because they wouldn't be able to do it, but it also didn't mean that she wasn't just young. So I was watching and I was just like, first of all, she can really act. She's amazing in Yellow Jackets. I mean, really freaking good. Please watch the show when you get it. It is really freaking because it's so trippy. It's just like you get. All right, so when you watch the trailer, it gives you a concept that something happened when their plane crashed, right? They were going to soccer finals, and their plane crashed, so they never made it. So they were trapped in the middle of nowhere. And each week, they keep giving you a flashback of what they went through. But not yet have they shown what craziness they went through. So you're still pining of like, well, what happened? Like, did you eat each other? Like, what happened here? And you still don't know, but it's a fun ride to get to that point. But anyway, I brought it up to say, because I see she's in the new Scream movie. I was just like, my God, little boobies on the Miles Morales girl. What is happening here?
Hello, Miss
Gracious. But no, please everyone check out Yellow Jackets when you get a chance. Really, really, really cool show. Did you watch Don't Look Up yet?
No.
Please watch that. It's really good. Really, really, really good. And if I ever went gay, Timothy Chalamet is in that movie.
That too. I'm not sure how the two connect, but okay.
No, because you know how much I love Timothy Chalamet.
I get it.
You know this. Come on now. You know.
There is a movie where he plays gay. You watch that if that gets you off.
It wouldn't get me off because I'm not, but the thought of it possibly could. Like maybe one day if he was available, I would go gay for Timothy Chalamet.
There you go.
You know, maybe I was actually watching. You know the guy that all the British people go to interview. That the guy had him on, and he said, "I don't want to get this wrong and offend you. So is it Timothy?" And he's just like, "Whatever you want to call me." And he's like, "No, I just want to know. Like, what are the two E's?" And he's just like, "I've just been through this so much. So whatever you want to call me, Brandon, Tim, John, whatever." He's just like, "I assume you've just been through this a lot." And he's like, "Yes." So Timothy, whatever. I don't care.
Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat. And it was on the same show. He had Henry Cavill and Tom Holland, and he's like, "Is this you two's first time meeting?" And Tom's like, "No. When I first came out to Hollywood, it was some award show, and I went to the bathroom and I saw Henry Cavill." And he said, I had to pee, so I'm peeing next to him. He's like, I died laughing. He's like, I looked over at him, and then I looked down, and he's like, no, I didn't look down. I didn't look down. Henry's like, you can't say stuff like that, Tom. I think it's the Grant Morrison show or something like that.
I know you're talking.
Yeah, he always gets these guys to give literally the best versions of themselves. It's hilarious. All right, let's move on. Speaking of Showtime, did you see Dexter?
Yes, I did.
Dad of the year, right? I mean, we would have to assume so, right? Dad of the year?
Dad of the year? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dexter has to be the dad of the year.
You gotta show that. You gotta show your kid how to kill and how the right way to kill.
Let me just say this. This is how you know Dexter has not had any training on being a parent. He's going to go, hey, if watching me cut this guy up is too much for you and you want to stand outside, you stand outside. And then the kid goes, oh, I need some air. And Dexter's like, little bitch. Well, Dexter, you have to imagine. I don't think this kid's ever seen that before. This is a lot. That's why
the last time he saw it was a baby.
Right. That's why his sister kept going, hey, you should probably not go this far. Like, maybe you should stop. He's like, no. I'm going to show him everything it takes to be me. I'm going to cut him up. I'm going to drain him.
I do believe he had to tell him. I don't know if he needed to show him, but
yeah, I don't think he needed to show him.
We'll go there.
But I am curious. Killing Mary off screen, that bothered me a little bit.
Me too. I was like, damn, that motherfucker got to.
Yeah, because I'm like, I was kind of expecting to see how he got her again. Like, because I'm assuming he couldn't have lured her back. Because once she escaped the first time, she was very cautious about him going forward. So I'm like, I guess he just snuck up. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. She's dead, so whatever. But I was very disappointed that was off screen. But what the fuck was that? Preserving them in boxes or whatever the hell?
Yeah, like dolls and shit. Weirdo.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, if you were trying to help them,
literally living dead dolls. They're not living, but they're dead dolls.
Are dead dolls, yeah, super dead dolls. That one chick, with the chest that could have literally kept afloat the Titanic, she got shot in the eye. So yeah, that was super dead.
Wow.
A waste of
really waste.
Goodness gracious. I mean, she could have been preservers for somebody's ship that was going down. Like, what a waste. But no, this is a pretty cool episode, and I didn't expect the ending that we got.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, we already knew she was gonna dig. Who left that note? Was this cocksucker before he died? That's
Right.
a little, probably did.
And here's the crazier thing. Like, usually if you watch a show about murders, you just go, all right, well, clearly they're going to find a way to kill everybody. Like Power. Like, at some points, Ghost would just be like, all right, I'm just kill y'all and then bury y'all and then boom, new season, right? But we know Dexter doesn't work like that. So at no point, right. So at no point will we assume, that's why I'm very curious, will his son change the laws of things and kill her to preserve their secret? Because I remember telling you weeks ago, I felt like they were going in the route of Dexter might die and his son. Because what's weird is they didn't call next week or this week's finale, the series finale.
Well, it was a penultimate for the season. But yeah, I don't know. They said special events series, right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm confused on how that. I'm very curious if this is just a bridge to whatever's on the other side, or if this is, like you said, just to fix that final season that was just fucking horrific.
It's
And
been
if it
great.
is, I'm fine with that. But you've now conjured up a really good story that I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing where else it goes.
We're all sitting here like, we'll take more if you're getting like, we loved Dexter the first time, we'll love him again in whatever the fuck they're at.
Right, especially if they take their act on the road, like they both live.
Hit the road, Jack.
I'd be very interested to see how that plays out. So, this week's of Dexter was pretty good, but can I just say, for someone who loves someone, she is finding it really easy to not trust him at all, as if their time together meant nothing.
Right? Well, no, I mean, it could have been worse. If she didn't really trust him, she would have busted him a while ago.
Right, but I mean, if all it took was for you to find a newspaper clipping saying that he supposedly died and he just took a new identity, I'm like, nowhere in that newspaper clipping did it say he killed 90 people and then died. So I don't understand. Once he explained to you, hey, I didn't like who I was. I wanted to be a new version of me. I didn't think it really mattered to tell you about an old version of me. So I moved. Came out here. I've been a model citizen. There's been no disappearances, no murders, no nothing. She just saw that newspaper clip and was like, no, I fully believe you could be a killer. I can see it. I can for sure see it.
Yeah.
I'm more interested on how you saw the fire, right? You saw the smoke, but when he set their house on fire, you drive closer, you see sirens. Why would you, knowing you had bags of a dead guy on the back of your ATV, then pull up to the scene?
They burned it.
They burned the body?
Yeah. They threw it in the furnace. And then they went home.
Holy shit, Joel. Bro, I remember everything in that episode but that.
Yeah, they threw it in the furnace. They took all the bags, they threw it in the furnace, and then they went home. That's when they got home. Like, what the fuck happened?
Jesus Christmas. Wow. I always say, thank God I have Joel. I don't know what my life would be without Joel. I don't remember that at all. I literally remember him Harrison going outside, breathing, because that was a lot to take in, and then them driving.
and then he asked them to take the bags into onto the whatever.
Oh yeah, he came out of the hole and was throwing the bags out and said, "Can you give me a hand?"
And then after that, they show them at the thing.
I'm able to suspend belief, but I'm not able to suspend belief to this point. That was a clear hole that went down to the ground, right? I just want to know, Dexter had the bags and was pulling them out one by one without having to go all the way back down. Where the fuck were those bags? where was he holding those bags? He was just like, all right, here's one. No, wait. Here's two. Where are you storing these that you can just pull them out randomly like that?
Well, he just had two sitting there, and then he was gonna go back down and get more. So they take these bags, and then he grabbed them, and then he went down. So it's not like he was pulling them out as he was.
I thought he was. You know what? I'm gonna just rewatch the end of this episode. I clearly don't remember it as well as I thought I did. All right. So Dexter was good. We can't wait for this week's episode. Power is back this week.
No, this week.
It is back. Yeah, this week. It wasn't back. No, I was looking for it. It wasn't. I'm now starting to feel as though the reason they took that break was because this show will probably end right before the week Tommy's show, because Tommy's show is next month.
I thought the show was over already. I mean, that's how it ends, in my opinion. Done.
Joel, that is not how that show ends. He's gonna get out of prison and be the best ghost New York City is
Power ever. Book 2. It goes from ghost to karma. That's how that show ends.
Joel, at some point you gotta like the kid, bro.
I don't like the kid.
So never at any point will you like this kid?
That's hard. It's hard to like him.
So what are you gonna say when he becomes the best ghost that New York has ever seen?
I'll be dead by then.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Well, we know it all. All it takes is an Angela. That's all it takes. One Angela. One Angela. We'll see who that Angela is. I know who this show is making it seem like his Angela is, and I believe she'll die rather soon. She has a knack for just getting too curious about things. So I can see her showing up one time and it's just like, well, you're gonna die. I can see that for sure.
I need more reason for him to die.
Yo, I cannot wait for the day where you're like, I fucking love this kid, bro. I love him.
I don't know how anyone can love this kid. I really don't.
I won't say I love him, but I've been enjoying these last 2 seasons.
I love the show. I just don't like him.
Joel, he is the show.
Oh yeah, show is around him.
He is the show. Yeah. He will never die because you then can't continue to do that show. And as much as I know you would like that's not what's going on.
That's how the show ends. He's gonna die.
He will not die. Just because your guy died doesn't mean he has to die.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Gracious. All right. So Trayvon's left out of MCU writers' rooms. You're left out of Power. You just gotta make sure you guys never show up to these writer rooms. But all right. So next week is a pretty big week for us, Joel. We get Naomi, episode 1, season 1. Superman and Lois, season 2, episode 1. Batwoman returns. For you, Legends of Tomorrow, because I do know you keep up with it, so I want to be respectful in the fact that it exists. It does. It does. I don't want to be disrespectful. Just because I don't watch it doesn't mean no one else does. So gotta make sure you're always respectful. So I know you're excited to see some of these shows back. So my question to you is, which out of these returning CW shows is your most anticipated? Whether it's Batwoman returning, whether it's Superman and Lois, whether it's Naomi, Legends, what is your most anticipated heading into next week?
Naomi, because I don't know anything about it. Well, I know some things about it, but I mean, I don't know how they're going to interpret it. So I'm very curious to see how that they build her side of the universe. You know what I mean? So I'm curious how far they go with certain things and how far the season goes. Like, I don't even know how long the season is, so I want to see what they do with it. And they're gonna probably get farther quicker than even the comic books do. So they're gonna have some, what they call it, leeway and how they tell the story. So I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Are there well, first let me say, from the trailer, that budget looks bigger than anything CW made. So I'm assuming it's probably 8 to 10 to 12, no higher than that. Because that budget looked way more expensive than any, like, again, I don't count Stargirl because that's not a CW made show. It's a show that just airs on CW.
It is now.
Well, from the looks of season 2, it doesn't feel like it. Because
good. It is only what, 13 episodes or some shit?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I could see this being around that. But my question to you is, and I'm sure a whole lot of people that aren't familiar with this character, and I believe there's a lot, is there anything accurate to the comics that you're expecting to see or you're hoping to see from Naomi?
Yeah, I mean, they've already pretty much gave it away, in the trailer. So I'm cool. Like, I wanted to make sure that they kept a lot of that, and they did.
What was it? Because if it was in the trailer, this isn't a spoiler.
Yeah, the Thanagarian. So I'm like, cool. He's in it. and then her father is a something. Her adopted father is something. So hopefully that remains as well. That'd be cool. The main bad guy kind of looks different already, but he's there a lot earlier than in the comic book. So we'll see how that works out. Does she get her costume this season? That would be fun.
Oh, she has a costume?
Yes, she
Is it
does.
from that official promo art or that they dropped? No, it's
No.
not that.
No. So that's just clothes.
I wasn't. I wasn't. Hey, look! Don't say that shit. Jessica Jones.
Yeah, it's not a costume. I don't call it a costume. Jessica Jones wears clothes. It doesn't have a costume.
Well, when you wear the same damn clothes, that's a costume. Jessica Jones in season 1, 2, and 3 changed clothes once.
That is her always clothes. You know, that's her go-to. You know what I mean?
Bro, you know what it reminds me of? I was rewatching because I got my cousin. She still hasn't seen Spider-Man yet, so I told her before she did, rewatch, because in case she didn't remember, rewatch Daredevil, rewatch Defenders, start Hawkeye before she goes into it. So I said, you know what? Let me rewatch season 3. There's a few things I forgot about. Bro, there's a scene where Wilson Fisk opens his closet and it's all white suits. I was like, all right, guys, okay, come on. Like, we just needed to see him in it once before you ended it. We don't need a closet of just whites. He wore other shit. So I thought that was fun. I just don't need him wearing Hawaiian shirts ever again. That was cool for that. Just don't.
I like it. Whatever, just wear different things. Switch it up.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying he would wear like a purple shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be different, not just the all white on white on white is what I'm saying. So
he's got ascots he could wear. He didn't wear that. So still waiting for that.
Where is ascots? That is the one thing I loved about Spider-Man the animated series. They appreciated the ascot. Yeah, I do remember that. So yeah, my most anticipated is probably Batwoman. I want to see how a show that only exists because of Batman continues to exist without Batman. So, no, all jokes aside, I'm really excited for Superman and Lois. Because apparently from the trailer, for reasons I don't quite understand, she's gaining feelings for a daughter that's not hers and a husband that's not hers. I don't know how that works. I don't understand how you trans-dimension or you transport dimensional feelings. So I thought that was weird. Even when Clark asked it in the trailer, I'm like, wait, what? I don't understand.
Shit's getting weird. What's going on?
Yeah, Clark was like, do you have feelings for him? I'm like, wait, why is that a question? Why would you have feelings for him? You just met him. You met him. In meeting him, you spent the whole, 2 weeks not trusting him. Right. Now you trust him. Why is he anything more than a friend? I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But I love the visuals of Superman and Lois. So I'm really excited to continue to see how that story progresses. And I want to see how many more times. Let me just say this. I think we've come far enough in these CW shows that I want to see them interact with other heroes outside of a crossover.
You mean like just a regular episode?
Yeah, just a regular episode. They interact. I don't think it only needs to be put to crossovers. I want to see it, just from each season once a season. That's it. I don't need to see it every episode, 3 episodes, 4. Just I don't know.
I've seen episodes where they just show up for a minute or 2 or whatever.
Well, we know Supergirl had it because that's the first time she interacted with Barry. That wasn't a crossover. That was literally just Flash's here. I know Arrow's done it.
Arrow's done it. Yeah,
Arrow's done it.
It's been done.
It was more so of like a speed mirage than really showing Barry. But yeah, I want to see it in the world of Superman and Lois. What do some of these other people look like in that? I want to see that. And I'm curious when's the next time we see Diggle out of these shows. Batwoman? Did we already know this?
It was announced recently.
Shit. Oh, okay. Any chance he has a ring on his finger?
Probably not, but I don't know. We'll have to watch and see.
Look, I wanted to ask you this. Was Argus ever a popular storyline? Because I swear to God, I feel like Arrow made Argus popular enough to where now Argus is being utilized in Titans. Obviously, Argus is the shield of the Arrowverse. Was that ever something that was used outside of the Suicide Squad that you know of?
Yeah, yeah. Dceu too. That was another thing that's been used, but it's in the comic book. Yeah,
Okay.
cartoons. I don't remember. I would have to. No.
I don't remember outside of Justice League Unlimited. I think the few times we got Suicide Squad, there was mention of Argus.
I know Waller was in it, so it's possible.
Yeah, I always thought Arrowverse just made that way more popular than it ever was. But okay. All right, let's move on. Speaking of which, before we get too far ahead, did you enjoy day one at all? The wrestling paper?
I didn't watch day one at all.
At all. Okay. But you know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm doing a rewatch of the MCU at a very slow pace. So I watched Thor: Dark World and Winter Soldier.
Oh wow. Okay. Why did we already know that? Why is that being posted again? Okay. All right, Joel. So let's get into it, man. We know these DC rumors.
Yeah.
We know them. These are rumors that aren't new. Excuse me. So, excuse me, it's not anything that's new at all, but it's something that's vamping up enough to where it's starting to feel like maybe it's not a rumor. But those rumors are, Joel, as you know, apparently Flashpoint the movie, or The Flash the movie, is going to utilize Flashpoint and somewhat wash away the entire Snyderverse, even though you can't, as long as Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa still exist, the universe will always stand. So partially, and Ezra. Sorry, I completely forgot about Ezra. So you're only partially getting rid of.
You're only taking certain aspects of this Snyderverse.
Right. There's some, maybe the most important aspects of it, but whatever. Which is Batman and Superman. They are removing Batman and Superman.
At the very least, the actors are being removed.
Well, we know Ben for sure.
For sure.
Henry is still a question mark because I feel as though as long as he wants to be in it, there's always room. Because we've seen some actors that kind of just, they've waited so long. They just said, you know what, I'm not really interested anymore. You know, if it happens, it happens, but I'm too busy. I don't really care about it. Henry hasn't gotten to that point yet. I pray that he never does. But apparently, Supergirl will be replacing Superman in the universe. Michael Keaton's Batman will be coming from whatever universe to the main continuity of the DCEU. And apparently at the end of Batgirl will be the new Batman. I know a lot of you people are hearing this going, Juwaan, none of this makes sense. I agree. It's okay. Hold on to your seats.
Well, to me, that's the worst of it right there. Just saying Superman is being replaced by Supergirl and Batman is being replaced by Batgirl. I mean, that right there sets every normal fan off. You know what I mean? They're like, excuse me, what?
And it's still to the point to where, Joel, and again, we have to wait to see the movie to really get the feel, but it still doesn't, like, we've seen some moves happen to where we can at least go, okay, it makes sense. This still doesn't sit right. I don't think it ever will. I think however they defend it, it still won't sit right when we see this movie. Do you think doing this will take away from your ability to fully enjoy this Flash movie?
No. But I don't think it helps.
And look, I only ask it because I know you. Stuff like this doesn't sway you left or right. But the only reason I ask is it's like hearing, it's like going back to high school and someone going, oh, blah, blah, blah likes you. Hearing it is fine. But it's when she comes up to you and goes, no, I really like you, that everything's just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like, this is happening. This is real. So hearing it is cool. Me and you heard who would be in Spider-Man No Way Home. But seeing it was a whole nother ballgame. So that's the only reason I asked, because I know off of just the announcement, it bothers you, but not enough to sway the movie. But I want you to look deep inside of yourself and see and imagine watching it tell you, hey, I am Superman. Hey, I am Batman.
They can't be Superman and Batman because they're girls.
What Joel means is by title. He does not mean.
Yeah, you can't just say I'm Batman and be a girl. It just doesn't work that way. They already said she's gonna be Batgirl. So, but taking, like, I already explained this a lot. But I think the way it's worded, replacing what I think is the main focuses of those the IPs in this universe going forward. Batgirl will be the main Bat IP that's represented on screen going forward, where Batman taking more of a back seat and more of a mentor role in those films and possible other DC films, right? Superman, we just don't know. We don't know what role he plays at all, if at all, because we don't know if he's been replaced completely with a different, just like she's the main Kryptonian, you know what I mean? And the only Kryptonian, we don't know that. That's the only thing I'm hung up on, because that's the only thing I don't know. Because she could still be the daughter of Clark Kent. You know what I mean? We don't know. You know what I mean? Until that's established. That's really the only thing I'm hung up on. So that's really the only thing I'm waiting to find out about.
And here's the thing that's more frustrating. Ready for this, Joel? You can't even say, well, you know what? She's the main Kryptonian. She's the main Bat member of the Bat family, because Bruce and Clark are busy doing Justice League things. Because we're expecting, in all intents and purposes, they're going to add Supergirl and Batgirl to the Justice League. So it's like, well, what are you going to explain Clark is doing? Because you're not going to kill him off, because you'll really lose people then. So what are you going to explain?
I'd rather he was killed off than not exist. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow. I'd rather he just replaced. There is no Superman. Just
only because that means you'd be telling me he died off screen, and he just died already. So I'm like, no, I don't. I think if you're just rewriting history, I'd rather she was the only Kryptonian.
I'd rather hear that than you tell me that there's no Superman. Like, there's no Clark Kent ever. I'm like, that's fucking wrong.
Don't get me wrong. All of this is wrong. But killing him off screen, especially for a character you just killed, you literally just killed and resurrected. Yeah. So I'm like, him dying. No, I'm not okay with that under any circumstance.
But at this point, it's a new universe. It's not the same character. It's true.
I hate this so much. I hate this so fucking much. I do. And all you stupid people that never read comic books, that went out and badmouthed these movies, you are to fucking blame that we're in this position we're in now. All you media folks that said, what is this dark crap? I can't understand it. It's not good. You are the reason we are suffering, having to think about a Superman that A, doesn't exist, or B, died. Think about how horrible that feeling is, Joe.
We don't know.
To be smack dab in the middle of, yeah, man, either your Superman never breathed or he's dead. It's like, why are those my options? Why can't he live?
Or he could be retired. Again, we don't know. We don't know everything yet.
And you know the saddest part? We probably won't know until she gets her own movie. That makes it even worse. This movie very likely could end.
Well, that's not.
This is in this new universe.
Not necessarily, because she probably has a name that may give it away.
Right, but she's not from this universe, so you're
well, we don't know what they're doing, right? We don't know.
Oh goodness! All right, let's get out of this, Joel. We don't need to stress ourselves.
No, I have theories. I need to get out.
Dude, sorry, I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I need to, like, I already had my one. Like I said, I'm only hung up on the fact that we don't have a Superman in this universe yet that we know. right? That's why I've already established, like, if he's dead or retired, I'll take it. Because at this moment, it just doesn't seem like they want to do anything with Henry, right? That just seems like that's the hang up. Like, them and Henry can't find any type of, like, ground to work together, which is stupid, but it's not for us to say. So if you look at this universe and you look at the universes that are being presented in front of us, there's already one alternate universe, which is the Batman. That's its own thing, separate universe completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have the DC. So as far as we know, everything else is DCU unless otherwise noted. That's how I look at it. Oh, excuse me. Woo. So you look at the Superman projects we have, aside from the one that's on TV that we just talked about, that's CW. That's nothing to do with what we're talking about. There are 2 Superman projects in development. One's a movie and one's a series.
Mm-hmm.
Both Black Superman. One is, at least by my guesstimation, is about the Calvin Ellis Superman, with the movie I think is more about the President Superman. And as we know, Val Zod will be the series, the one that produced by Michael B. Jordan. So I do believe going forward, that President Superman movie will be its own entity, like the Batman will be its own entity. So I think Calvin Ellis Superman will be its own thing in the movies. I think there's a possibility Val Zod might be integrated into the DCEU, especially if there's a gap with Superman. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if they bring in Val Zod Superman, next to Supergirl, that'll fill in the Superman gap. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's why I got this idea. Obviously, this is all actually happening. I'm not making that part up. But the DCU part, I'm assuming that they could integrate if they really wanted to, and they could take inspiration from the New 52 Earth 2, which is exactly what happened. Because in that universe, Batman and Superman were both killed, and Wonder Woman, the Trinity, were killed, and they were eventually replaced with their, for Batman it was Dick. He became Batman, and then his daughter Helena became Huntress, and they were in the Justice League. And then for Superman, Power Girl Kara became Power Girl, and then of course Val Zod entered the picture and became Superman. So they could do something similar like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's where I got that idea from. Sorry. That's always a possibility.
I like that. I mean,
I know that's the second time someone said I talked them into that, but we'll see. We'll see.
For me, having no Superman is where I really get the hang up.
I 100% agree.
Superman is probably the only character I could really sign off on just getting a different version of him. Because you know how I feel. If you're gonna have Bruce, and that's it. There is no new Batman. There is no new Batman. Bruce is there. That's Batman, whether he suits up or not. So you're just adding people to the Bat family at this point. Because you haven't earned it to say, well, Bruce died, so Grayson, you take it. Like, no. So Superman's really the only one out of the 2 that could work. I'm sorry, out of any of the Justice League, really, not name Green Lantern that could work.
Right.
Because you could have Hal, then boom, have John. Superman, you could do this. Especially when you're telling me you're bringing in a new Superman character in Supergirl. It's not even from this earth. And you're spinning it to where now she is of this earth. So yeah, you could do that, and I could sleep well at night knowing that. But to not have a Superman at all,
right? No, I agree. But that's why it just makes sense, especially now that things are becoming clear. You know what I mean? Why work on 2 different Superman projects if you still have this Superman here that you're not fucking with? Like, that means you're not gonna fuck with him, right? Yeah. At that point, you're like, all right, you're not fucking with him. But maybe I still have hope that he still lives on in this universe in a different capacity, that he did exist in this universe before. I want to believe that he did, at least. So that Supergirl is, she was passed the torch, and not so much she's just the only Kryptonian. You know what I mean?
So you're saying something like, you get something like Clark died, she decides to pick up the mantle, obviously being Supergirl, not Superman.
Right.
And you get an end credit scene of his ship landing or something, or a portal opening or something.
His story is weird. It's a ship. Because in that world, there was like 4 Kryptonian kids that were saved. It was Kara, Kyle, Val, and like some other Kryptonian. But similar in that world, he came in later, like Kara. He came like his ship came in later, and then he was like adopted by like Terry Salone Incorporated, which is like the.
Okay, so you're not okay with the ship landing now and him being a full.
It could land now, or you could do something like that, like sort of like what they did with Mon-El and Supergirl.
Okay, because what I was thinking of, because once you get the ball rolling in my head, I can't stop. I'm thinking like something during the movie you hear of a ship landing somewhere in Metropolis. And then you get the end credit scene of him kicking the door open, and you're like, oh, like shit. Oh, okay. All right, cool. We got Superman. Something just simple like that. I don't need him in any other place in the movie.
Well, he's going to get his own series. You know what I mean?
Right. That would come out before anything she does. Right. I'm with you. Right.
Well, that's why if you do an end credit, a stinger, will his series be out already by the time her movie comes out? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of questions. So.
And now, just so I'm not tripping, we're talking about J.J. Abrams Superman, right?
No.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan. So you think J.J. Abrams would just be a one-off?
Well, not a one-off. It'll just be a movie in its separate universe.
Wow. Okay.
Like the Batman is its own thing.
Right.
I think JJ's movies will be its own thing. Because I think it's gonna be so different than what we're used to. Because it's still Kal-El, like they said, but it's Calvin Ellis, not Clark Kent. You know what I mean?
No, I do. Oh man, trying to wrap my head around.
That's what I think is gonna happen. Because I think like President Superman is getting a big push recently in the comic books.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's because he's probably gonna get a live action interpretation.
Well, if anything in DC follows anything in Marvel, we know when we see that in Marvel, we know exactly what that means. We used to talk about it all the time, whether it's a cartoon, comic. Once you see it and you see that it's taking precedence over other things, you're like, well, I like when we saw, even though I think we had mention of it before, but that Avengers game having Kamala Khan as the main character was like, well, you guys are gonna do some shit with Kamala Khan. Like, okay, all right. Okay, no, I'm sold. I mean, look, we've found ways to make Batman work. Now you found a way to make Superman work, enough to where I'm starting to feel like we can't be angry anymore until we see how it all plays out, because we've now talked ourselves into, well, this could be a good thing. Well, this could be,
it's true, because we don't know. There's so much we don't know. It's easy. Like I talked myself into it because I'm like, we know it's coming. So why not just why have 3 different separate universes? Just one is separate and the other one could be integrated.
Right.
And that one could be Valzat, and then he could be the Superman of this new universe. Done. Right? Folded.
Works for me.
And look, it'll be completely different than what we're used to, but at least a Superman is there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what I mean, hey, look, it's gonna be a whole new world. You got a black Superman. But hey, it's there, right? It's gonna be fun. If they pull it off, it could be done really well. You know, we don't know.
I mean, look, that to me lines up with what we know DC to want to be doing now, which is to be more diverse. You making Batgirl Hispanic isn't like but it is just interesting. Okay. Especially because what doesn't make much sense right now.
Her father's white.
Is her father is as white as you could possibly get. So you're kind of just like, well, okay, why? Like, what DC chooses to keep will always confuse me. Like, why not just go full bore? You wanted to go different for her. We know clear as day you're not going to take any interest in Barbara's mother. So why not just recast Commissioner Gordon? I don't understand. We even picked an amazing choice for Commissioner Gordon to fit her. We said the guy from that played
I know
Padme's protector.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were like, that's perfect. And we actually were like, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing that. So when they said, no, J.K. Simmons is back, and it's like, okay. Well, then now it's confusing because you're saying Batman will be back. Well, what Batman? Well, Keaton's Batman. Wait, what the fuck? What?
We're gonna merge both worlds here.
So essentially, you're saying it's a whole new world. So why not just make everything new? Why are we keeping old things? Like I don't understand.
Not all things have to change. It's a new board, and you have to look. That's, to me, it's weird that when they change actors. Well, that was the weird shit, because like growing up, it's an alternate universe, but everyone still looks the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you start changing actors, like, oh, even the white people look different. Like,
I just didn't like it because I'm like, well, because to me, I didn't have an investment in him. Like, did I wish we could have seen more of him? For sure. I thought you putting him in a Justice League movie rather than a Batman movie was like, well, all right, well, hopefully this leads to something. Clearly it didn't. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, you only gave us like sprinkles of him in Justice League. So I'm like, I had no
Wayne Manor being the Hall of Justice. I really don't.
100% not. It's just that's lazy. What? Why? I want you guys go to space. What is wrong with you? Why?
Why did they like refuse to let Bruce live in his damn mansion? Like
I don't know that either. I don't know that either.
It's been like that for a while on the live action.
It has. He just refuses to stay in his own place, and it's like, all right, what? Like, come on now, man. I don't understand. Why is he so against having money? I don't understand. He's like, look, I want the fancy cars, but the big old house, no, can't do it. Can't sleep there. It's like, it's fucking weird. So I know I'll make it the beacon for where all the Justice League members land that no one will see. No one will see Superman zooming out of the sky and landing right where Wayne Manor is. But yeah, so again, we got what we got. Me and you are very much of the mindset of you just got to live with certain stuff. So if this is what we got to live with,
it sucks, but you do. And look, I talked myself a little bit into this. So we'll see.
I'm just picturing in my head what Joel will be like if it doesn't happen. If it's as simple as no Superman, Supergirl. That's it.
Supergirl's it.
Yeah, I don't know how Joel will react. I'll tell you this. I won't want to be around Joel if that's what happens. They tell Joel, no. That's a good idea, but no, he's.
Why do you need both? Oh my God, that's a stupid thought. Don't be stupid.
Don't be an idiot. All right, let's move on. Did you have any other theories for DC?
That was really it. Like I said, though they're still being worked out. I like when I thought about the reason I came to the Superman, because that was the one that was bothering me the most. I've already made peace with Keaton coming back as Batman, and there's a part of me that loves that. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see that all come to fruition. But the Superman thing, I was hung up on because I'm like, it's just weird to not have a Superman in this universe. It's the only thing. Everything else I'm cool with. Whatever they want to do, I'm open-minded about everything. It's just not having a Superman is where it really hurts. It's like, but there are other Superman projects like in the works, and that's where I came. Like, all right, we know about the movie, we know about the show. One of them might be connected, right? Why have two separate alternate universes? You know what I mean?
That'd be the equivalent of having 3 Batman movies, and it's like, we only need one
in 3 different universes.
Yeah.
Like, if we're fixing the universe now, one of this obviously there's a multiverse that's established. So Superman, the movie one, I think will be the one that's separate, right. And the one that's coming to HBO Max and produced by Michael B. Jordan will be, I think, the one integrated, because I think Supergirl will get the movie and Superman will get the series, and then later on they'll
Well, look, clearly they wanted him to be in the DCEU. He was looked at to be Will Smith's replacement before Will Smith knocked on the door and said, "I'm sorry, what? You're replacing me? I don't think so. Leave that shit open. I'll be back." But beforehand, he was one of the names mentioned till Idris Elba fell in the lab, and then it was like, well, is Idris going to take it? Oh, which, by the way, let me say this short, and you're going to love this. I am now on board with Joel. I will now lead this campaign for Joel. I just saw Birth of a Dragon, or whatever it's called, the Batman animated movie. I finally got around to seeing it. They just put it on HBO Max. Cool. Can I just say, I haven't had a louder pop in my own head than when he said his name. And she said, "What is the name you went by?" He's like, "No, it was Bronze Tiger." And I was like, "Oh, like, I get it now, Joel. I get it. I get it. I understand. I want Bronze Tiger now." I still don't want him over Slade Wilson, but I do want Bronze Tiger. Like, I don't want Suicide Squad movies to continue and there not be a Bronze Tiger.
I don't understand how there's not. It bothered me. Like, come on.
I'm with you. I'm watching that movie and I'm just like, okay. First of all, I wasn't a fan of that movie. Bruce watching people kill and just being okay with it will always rub me wrong. He was just like, sure. When she killed the guy by thwapping him in the throat and Bruce is just standing there like, groovy. No, that's cool. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think this character forgot the whole reason he became Batman was to stop people from dying, and he's just openly watching everybody die. And I'm like, I don't like any of this. But when he name dropped Bronze Tiger and he was like, "No, I go by Bronze Tiger," I'm like, I get it, Joel. I get it. Even though, can we safely say Michael Jai White is now, I guess, copywritten Bronze Tiger?
Bronze Tiger? Yeah. I'm down. If he comes back as Bronze Tiger in the movies, cool.
Can I just say this? Can I just say this? An old veteran joining the Suicide Squad team would be really cool. Like, the guy who's been doing it for so long, he just wants peace or whatever. And it's like, look, you want to achieve your goal of getting back to your daughter or whatever the case may be. One last mission, and we see Bronze Tiger come out of retirement. Something would make me very happy inside. That's for sure. So I'm with you there. So I wanted to tell you sorry because I've always shitted on you wanting to see Bronze Tiger.
You don't know Suicide Squad. Damn it.
Fair. No arguments here. Look. You know I don't know Suicide Squad because I told you Suicide Squad begins and ends with Deadshot and Slade. If they're not in it, I don't want to see it.
It's not in it.
Look, I've read Suicide Squad comics where he was in the comic. That's enough for me.
That was the only time it was during the New 52, and he was against and with them at one point. Yes. Actually, starts with them and then he turns against them.
Yep. But remember, I said I'd be fine if he was just Amanda Waller's number 2 or number 1 rather.
I just want to see him fight this. I think it'd be cool seeing him against the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I don't need him to join it. I just need him in it. That's it. That's all I've been asking for. But now I have a strong feeling that I want Bronze Tiger just as badly as I want Slade Wilson. So I wanted to apologize, to be man enough to say I was wrong. You were right, Joel. Bronze Tiger's pretty cool.
You found appreciation for Bronze Tiger.
I have. Cool. No lies will be said today. I have. I'm with you. We are lock in step. I now need Bronze Tiger. So Arrowverse, do something, or DCEU, do something.
He's already been in the Arrowverse. What has he been doing? Just chilling.
That's what I want to see. The fact that they don't have a Suicide or a Task Force X show has always been disappointing. Because I'm like, it's even a different name. It's the same premise, but it's a different name. They don't go by Task Force X.
They did.
They did?
It's in the movie. They say it, yeah. Task Force X.
I gotta rewatch these things. I don't know if it's because I'm sick or I just don't remember things as fondly as I like to think I do. Probably the latter. Probably 100% the latter.
Suicide Squad is a nickname. They're
no, right. But I thought I've only heard them called the Suicide Squad. So that's just me. That's fine. That's just me being stupid. All right. So the screenwriters of Spider-Man No Way Home have been very busy running their mouths, quite like we knew the in-game writers did after that movie's release, telling us a whole bunch of really cool stuff that they did not have in the movie. So at this point, why even say it? But apparently the screenwriters told Variety, Venom being added to the film's final battle was definitely discussed. Why say that? Why? Because a lot of us, Joel, felt like Venom could maybe pop up at the end of that. So it's like, I don't want to hear that. That'd be like DC changes the whole DCEU, right? We get the whole Batgirl, replacing Batman, whatever. And then Ben comes out and goes, yeah, like if they had waited a month, I would have came back. I don't want to hear that, Ben. Don't say that. Why would you say that? Like, what? Don't say anything. Just say, you know what? I walked away, didn't want to do it. As
Period.
far as those screenwriters are concerned, you didn't want it. It was never a thought. That's it. That's all you have to say. Don't tell me cool stuff that you did not do. Like, I'll never understand that. Like, yeah, we were going to show Toby and Andrew going back to their worlds and you know, giving you guys a sight on what they've, you know, what they're doing. And then you didn't put it in there. Why say anything? As far as we knew, they just went back. I hate stuff like that. All right, let's see. See if we got anything else. Toby and Andrew signed on before even seeing the script. Well, that's obvious. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, that's like anytime you hear Michael Keaton talking about being in the Flash. He's like, I don't understand none of this multiverse shit. They just told me, hey, you can be Batman again. And I said, fuck you.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it. Do I have to do any stunt? No. Yeah, I'm in. Cool. I didn't do my first
minor ones. That's it. Just wear the suit, man. Maybe you kick someone. Who knows?
I'm just imagining the first thing Keaton said is, "Can I turn my head? I can turn my head." Oh, sign me.
These are a little more flexible than what you're used to.
Yeah. It's like, well, Michael, do you even want to hear the money? No. Can I turn my head? Yeah. All right. That's all I needed to know. I'm in.
Is it a lot? It's all good then.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You know what's funny about Michael? He's funny. He's a funny person.
Right. That's why I'm saying his whole press
run.
The
complete opposite of Bruce Wayne.
His whole press run during this Flash movie is going to be something to never forget. I promise you that.
It's going to be hysterical. People are going to want to watch it because of him.
1,000%.
His personality.
1,000%. Like, Joel's going to be like, bro, did you hear what Ezra said? Ezra, bitch, you think I'm watching anyone but Michael? Like, I've been watching Michael and Sasha for like 6 weeks. Like, that's it. But it's Ezra's movie. I don't care that it's Ezra's movie. I'm here for Sasha and Michael. That's it. Anyone can be Flash. I wouldn't care. But all right. So last thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm a little disappointed. And if you have anything else we need to talk about outside of Young Justice, let me know before we get out of here. But Dwayne says there's no chance of him returning to the Fast and Furious franchise, which doesn't disappoint me in the sense of him returning to like Fast 9 or Fast 10. But I was really looking forward to another Hobbs and Shaw.
I don't think he said he's done with Hobbs and Shaw. So he's done.
No, but he's
not doing whatever. Fast.
So if I was Vin Diesel, I'd be very offended. Hey, I don't want to be part of the movies.
I think that's the point, though. He's like, I'll do my movies. I'm not doing the regular movie. No.
Okay, then you know what? Then I take it back. This doesn't even have to really be a discussion then. I thought he meant, when he said the franchise, he meant the franchise as a whole, anything related to this.
No, I think he just means the Fast movies, not Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay, because I love Hobbs and Shaw.
I do too. That was great.
Yeah, so to me, I wanted to see more, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, if I'm Jason Statham, I have to be sitting here like, bro, I did nothing to deserve this. Like, can you just come back and just be Hobbs? Like, fuck their movies, just for me. Damn. Yeah. Like, Jesus, I didn't do anything wrong to you.
And now we know that Hobbs didn't kill Han. And what? Huh?
So there's so much more of that story. And I want to see how they incorporate Ryan Reynolds to being their guy in the chair. Like, I would love that. Like, Ryan Reynolds is their guy in the chair. He's their contact. Because he was awesome in Hobbs and Shaw. He was really awesome. And that's what I'm really curious of. That's why I thought he meant altogether, Joel, because I thought whoever that mysterious person was at the end of Hobbs and Shaw, I thought they were going to reveal themselves in the last Fast and Furious movie. So I'm like, well, where do you?
Might. I mean, they might. The movies might intersect in certain ways, but Rock's not going to go on that set. Like,
yeah. So look, I'll say this: if you're Vin Diesel, first of all, let me just say this: anyone regarding you as a little brother when you're a grown-ass man is never meant to be a compliment, ever. It's meant to sun you. That's the whole term. That's the whole terminology of sunning you. Like, to me, it only works when there's a drastic, like the way JD and Pete always talk down to me on Figure It Out. That works if they're like, yeah, my little brother Juwaan. That works. Mm-hmm. But from The Rock and Vin Diesel, that I'm sure is maybe a few years apart, that's you literally trying to talk down on me. And I can see why The Rock.
I wonder what the beef really was. If it was that serious. Like, what kind of
testosterone? I can tell you what the beef was. I can tell you what it was. A lot of people, quite like myself, feel as though that franchise was dead till The Rock arrived. And once he did, I feel as though The Rock maybe said, hey, how can we spin this off to more things that are me? And I believe Vin Diesel said, whoa, bitch, this is about family. He said, I'm not a part of your family. So bye. Like, think of this, Joel. We said it. We got a Shazam movie. No Black Adam. That only worked because of The Rock. So I fully believe The Rock showed up there and said, hey, fans is digging me. So either give me more stuff or I'm out of here. And I believe they said, well, Vin, we do love you, but that's The Rock. So we gave him his own movie. And I think Vin, quite like Tyrese, took exception to that. And I think that's where the beef came from. Vin Diesel made it very known. He didn't appreciate it. And he didn't like The Rock because of it. And if I'm The Rock, I'm saying, well, go fuck yourself. Fast 5 doesn't exist without me. And I'm with you. I remember seeing that trailer and going, they're bringing The Rock in. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And in every movie since then that had The Rock in it, I've been sold. So that's what I think the beef is.
They call it franchise Viagra. They call it. That's what they call it.
Oh my God. Yo, did you know the line where Tyrese goes, better hide the baby oil? And The Rock goes, better hide that big ass forehead. Did you know that was unscripted?
Yeah. I forgot where I heard that, but yeah.
Oh my God. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, seeing Ludacris spit his water out makes that so much more funny. It's like, oh damn. Like, okay. But that's what I mean. That's what I mean by The Rock made those movies. You know what I'm saying? So part of me is just like, well,
he resurrected it. So I was like,
right. Because to me, the last movie was Tokyo Drift. And I remember I never go back to that when I do rewatches.
I like Tokyo Drift.
I did not. But to be fair, I was pretty done with that franchise altogether. Once I heard Paul Walker say, my pockets ain't never empty, because I think I was really done with that franchise as a whole.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Too Fast, Too Furious.
hearing Paul Walker say "cuz" numerous times in that movie made me go, yeah, no, I'm out. I think I've had my fill. I'm done. So that's why I said when I saw The Rock join it, I was like, I'm back in. I will say the only cool thing about Tokyo Drift was the ending, where he pulls up and Vin Diesel is there waiting for him, and it's like, cool. I got nervous. You guys were trying to reboot, and I was scared. Yeah, I was terrified. Thought you were doing a whole Asian Fast and Furious saga. I wasn't ready for that.
Drifting was very popular at that time too.
It was. It was in all of the driving games and everything.
It hit at a good time. I was definitely into drifting, and I'm always into Japan. I love Japan, but that movie, I liked it like a lot. I didn't need it to be what it was, because I didn't really like Too Fast and Furious. I was like, oh my, that didn't even bring Vin back, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I was like, whatever they want to do. The soundtrack was good. I mean, so I was fine with it, and then I'm like, oh shit, it does connect. Interesting. Right. Where does it go from here? It won't end. That's where it goes.
That's where it goes. We'll never go. That's it. That's how we answer your question. We're here forever. Oh, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow. If you can remember, make sure I don't forget to talk about it. I just saw the Batman line for their figures, the Batmobile and all that.
Yeah.
Joel, I can't tell you how many hours I spent trying to find where I could spend my money on all those Batman figures and Batmobiles. I can't find it. They haven't released it yet.
So no, I want the Batmobile. I want the Hot Wheel Batmobile.
I'm gonna get the Hot Wheel. I'm gonna get the 3.75, and I'm gonna get the 6-inch Batmobiles. I'm gonna get all three of them motherfuckers.
I might want to get the Lego one or the Technics one. Oh, you build it? I'm like, that looks cool.
Well, for me, please, can you get the 3.75?
I don't know what the fuck that is. What is a 3.75?
It's just the figures that are like literally 3.75 inches tall. But the Batmobile is for those smaller figures. Just get that.
I want the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just get the car. That's what I'm saying. They sell the car with the figure, but you can just put the figure in the car and never take them out.
Word.
we'll talk about this more tomorrow and figure it out because there's a few things about those leaks that just bother me. Like, why is it that? Yeah, why is it that the figure for Batman, you have him where he has the mask off, and instead of having a removable head where the replacement head is the mask, you have a little pop-on mask that you put on. So it looks like Lego Batman, to where it's like there's nothing behind. It's just here, right?
Yeah, it's silly. Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing. Like, if you're gonna spend money, spend it all the way. Like, I don't understand that. But it does. If we're to believe any of those figures as far as movie continuity goes, Penguin might be doing a little bit more than we thought in this movie. So that's very interesting. And this is not a spoiler, anyone who's listening. We haven't seen the movie. We're just referring to the figures that leaked. But Penguin has his umbrella and he's fighting. So interesting. Very interesting. But all right, before we get out of here, what were your thoughts on last week's Young Justice?
Good. Did we talk about this? Thought we did.
No. Did we? No. No, you know where we talked about it? We talked about best DC product of last year. And I think you said Young Justice.
I think you said Young Justice. I agreed.
Bro, my memory, is just the worst. I don't even know what I say anymore. Goodness gracious. But yeah, so this episode was the one where obviously they won. The guy you predicted would take over for Dr. Fate.
I didn't predict it. I know the character. And I was gonna say, when I get on here, I'm like, he ain't taking that helmet off.
No, you know what? This is why I love talking to you, because as soon as I saw him put it on, I'm like, he's 100% gonna look at Zatanna being back with her dad. The other person that he was referring to isn't ready for it, and then you had possibly the only character in the history of Young Justice that perplexes me, and that's Mary. Because what are you doing with her character?
What's going on? Yeah,
what's happening? But before we get to her, I want to talk a little bit more about Dr. Fate and who is now donned the helmet. So I'll let you take it.
Well, as soon as they introduced Khalid, I call him Khalid. I just know they pronounce it a certain way, and I always forget.
I think it's Khalid. I think anytime, and no offense to anyone listening, but I think anytime white people say it, it will sound different. But I think it's supposed to be Khalid. I think it's
Khalid. But when they introduced him, I'm like, oh fuck, they're doing it. As soon as they said, I was like, oh, they're gonna do it. All right, cool. I did not expect to see him this season, but I guess it makes sense based on the age of Giovanni at this point, which is new to me. That never happened in the comic books, as far as I know. Giovanni being Dr. Fate, so that's very new. But then you saw the backstory, and and Kent Nelson apparently took him on as a protege at a young age, Khalid. So he's been around it for a while. So him being Fate it is what it is. I mean, that's what it is now. That's where he is right now. Right now in the comic books, he is Fate. Well, him and Kent were Kent was training him, but yes, he is the current Dr. Fate. And it looks like he will stay that way in Young Justice. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he does. To me, can I just be honest with you? I don't like a revolving door. I like you to very much find.
Sounds like a great idea, but once it comes down to it, you're like.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to see this often. Don't do
he's stuck there.
Right. So, do you think that we'll get another break before they give us the new saga of Young Justice? Because I kind of feel like the magic portion of this it ended with last week's episode, right?
I don't remember. Maybe. Yeah, we might get a break. I think there was. I had the dates.
Yeah, you did. I remember you telling us. Yeah. I just couldn't remember when you said the next break would be, but I imagine this had because the last arc lasted about this long, I believe.
Yeah, you know why? Well, hold on. Is it now? Let me see. I'll look it up now, but I believe. What was it? I already forgot. Remember the because what happened was we're getting what's his name, Peacemaker soon,
right?
It's next week. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe they don't, get on each other's toes or whatever. But I'm not 100% sure.
I also don't know how that works because Young Justice technically comes out Thursday.
Yeah, I believe they both come out Thursday.
Oh, they both come out Thursday. Oh, then never mind. I'm sorry.
I think this is Peacemaker comes out the 13th.
Oh shit, bro! I gotta take medicine or something because I could have sworn that shit said the 14th. Like I don't remember anything, man. Nothing, literally nothing. And Joel knows me well enough to know that this isn't me trying to be funny for you guys. I don't retain anything. Joel has literally threatened to end friendship with me because he's like, bro, I told you this rumor like 6 months ago, right? And it's like, yeah. This didn't just come out today? No, Juwaan. 6 months ago I told you this. And I remember. I retain.
Yeah, it happens. I'll say this. I thought I had it here. I guess I never wrote it down, but I definitely told you.
Like, it was on one of these episodes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was as far back because that was like during fandom when he told us. Yeah. I'm like, that's probably, I don't know how far back I gotta scroll to read that. But I know there's a break. There's a break, and I just don't know when. I think it's soon. I think it's like now, and then we'll have to wait till because we got it last week, right?
Yeah.
Last Thursday? Yeah. I think we're done until like
March, probably.
February? March, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
We'll know for sure if there's a new episode this week. So if there's not, then on a break.
But I could be wrong. Fuck.
We will find out soon. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, I enjoyed the episode. But yeah, let's get into Mary because that confuses me.
Perplexed.
You don't show Shazam, which okay, cool.
Man, what happened? Billy.
But first of all, I didn't know you could downgrade your abilities being part of the Shazam family, where you can just go, hey, I only want to utilize it in my human form, so that's what I'm going to do. It's like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Because then it's kind of just like, well, if Billy could always do that, what was the point of Shazam? Does it fully unlock everything? I don't understand. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how much it really limits you. So that was very confusing. Joel, you knowing the comics way better than I do. Is this new for you to be able to do that?
To do like pick and choose?
Pick and choose, yeah.
That's new to me. I don't know if that's ever been done in the comics or not.
I've never read that where you could just go, hey, I can only use speed. Yeah, it's like,
well, that's cool. I just didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could just pick a power and go with it.
Like she's just looking in her closet. Speed today. I'm gonna go speed. Like I think I would accept it more if she said the more I use it, the more it influences me to fully come out more. But you just being able to say, no, I can just use it whenever I want. All right. I don't understand that.
That's why she does it though, so she doesn't have to go completely Shazam. But why is it such a bad thing? That's what we don't know yet.
Right.
Like, why don't we just go full Shazam and just go Mary Marvel? What's up with that?
Right. And I love how Zatanna's just like, hey, I can't really trust you. She's like, what? But I saved you.
What happened? We don't know. Jeez. Somebody was seducing her, but we don't know who that is either.
Right. I'm like, well, you were stealing our power to save the day. You didn't even ask. She's like, well, y'all were dying. What the fuck you want me to? Hey, is it okay? Yeah. Hey, what do you want me to do? So I understand Mary, but at the end of the day, it was Zatanna who's very trusting, by the way. If she says you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. So if Zatanna believes it, I believe it. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Mary plays out, especially if they don't go right back to magic. Like, well, when will we see that answer? You know? Interesting. Because they also don't make Shazam shows, Shazam movies as far as animation goes. So I'll be really interested to see in this DC animated world we were telling Trayvon about how far they go. Because I'm like, all right, you've gotten Flash, you've gotten Batman, you've gotten Martian Manhunter. I said Superman, right? You got Superman. Who else do you bring into the Justice League? Clearly, we know Diana. Who else?
Diana. Yeah.
No, I don't think Michael Jackson's Diana will be in the Justice League.
No.
No, I think she was too slutty to be a part of a team.
It's the best Diana. Dirty
I'm just
Daryl.
picturing Bruce go, "Whoa, is that Dirty?"
I just found out that apparently Michael Jackson's voice, like the voice that he present, like that soft voice he does, that's fake. Apparently, he has a deep voice. Had no idea.
I would like to know who said that.
Look it up.
Because, albeit, do I believe Michael Jackson believed in his own hype so much he just carried the persona? Yes. Do I also believe that Michael Jackson did sound like that? Yes. Yes, I am. So okay, I'm gonna look that up because I'm curious. It's not that I don't believe what you're saying. I just want to know how much an authority is the person who said it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much am I to believe him?
One of them is Spike Lee. One of them is Spike Lee. One of them is T-Pain, who said, I watch Hot Ones now. I'm addicted to that show.
Bro, Tom Holland and Idris Elba, hands down. Hands down.
I started from the very beginning. So
really? You see it's on HBO Max, right?
No, I watched on YouTube.
Oh, it's on HBO Max. If you want to watch it without ads interrupting, it's on HBO Max.
No, it's only like they're not long. So they're really good.
Oh, okay. No, I just meant. Oh, you mean the show's not long? I got you. I thought. Okay, I'm sorry. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
No, what I mean is just that like it's really funny. I saw like, and that's why there was an episode with T-Pain on it, and he's like, yeah. He's like, because they showed him a picture of him taking a picture of Michael Jackson. He's like, yeah, and then Mike invited me out to his house. And he's like, and not his main house, like his side house, like outside the back. That's bigger than my own house. I'm like, this is crazy. And then when I get there, he's like, like the one thing that really shocked me is like, he has a deep voice. It's like that whole shit. That's all fake. It's like, it's crazy.
I don't know how I would react if I showed up to his house and he's like, come in. I'm sorry. Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, like Prince. I'm like, it can't be that deep. But damn, if it's anywhere near close to Prince's deep voice, that's crazy.
See, the only difference is Prince would sing with a soft voice, but if you ever heard him talk, he always had a deep voice.
Prince is way more confident in himself than Michael was.
1,000%. But to tell me the guy who only spoke in soft really had a deep voice, that's what's more perplexing to me. Because at least with Prince was like, well, I never fooled you guys. I just had a soft singing voice. Like, I didn't think me saying Purple Rain with a deep ass voice would hit as hard as my soft voice.
Look, I was so shocked. I'm like, I gotta watch this. It's crazy. There's no way my whole life is a lie.
1,000%. 1,000%. Just like the first time I heard he wanted to buy Marvel just so he could be Spider-Man. I'm like, I don't even know what I would think in the world.
No, no.
Yeah, no, I don't need any of that. I also don't need Spider-Man breakdancing across the goddamn floor. Yeah, that would just yikes. That would rub me the wrong way. But yeah, I can't wait till you get super far in Hot Ones because Shaq's face, not the whole thing, just the face.
That's what got me into it. I saw highlights.
Yeah.
All the funniest ones. I was like, oh, this shit. I was dying, and I'm like, let me just start from the beginning and see how. That's like 6 years ago it started. So right now I'm I don't remember the last person I saw. I don't remember. I'll look it up. But man, that show's funny. I have a really good time with it. But I'm on the 3rd season. I know that much. I'm in 2017. That's right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Joe loves Hot Ones. So when I saw Tom Holland, I told Joe to go watch it. He said, "Bro, it's some of the best laughs ever."
Oh,
because go ahead.
No, the funniest was the Key and Peele was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Farrow was funny. That was a good one. My God, I gotta I'll get there. There's like fucking 1,000.
So many.
There's so many. I'm just trying off the top of my head where we're really, really good. TJ Miller was funny. Joe Budden was pretty good. I like that one.
I love Joe Budden. That is one of my favorite ones. Not because I necessarily thought it was funny, but he's always so naturally controversial.
Yeah.
He just naturally repels against anything. So I enjoyed that a lot.
Oh yeah, he really is. He's always fighting.
always. And it's just like, Joe, why couldn't you just answer that regular? Why did you?
Just chill. Oh, last one I saw was Russell Brand. That was the last one I just saw.
Oh, okay. Jesus, that guy had the biggest drop off in Hollywood history. Russell Brand at a moment was in everything, and then it was just like he's in nothing. It's like, what happened? Like, who's your agent? It's like, people just stop finding British funny, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, no, not really. We still love Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais was okay. I mean, they're all good in terms of like you get to learn,
right?
But like in terms of like the reactions, Jake.
I'm telling you right now, the ones you're gonna find the funniest is when he asks them questions. They're just like, "How the fuck do you know that?"
I love when they're like, "Who told you that?" They're like, "Who told you?"
Wait a minute! I only told my mother that. How do you know this? It's like
Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport is funny. Julio is funny. Oh man, there's some people I've never heard of in this show. Like there's some rappers, I swear, I'm like, man, I'm so out of the loop. I've never heard of that person.
But look, Owen's is a good way to get you into that. Because, sometimes musicians and actors, sometimes people like you as a person before they like you as your actual performance. So
Right. No, it's true. Like they started with Tony Yayo. At least I know Tony Yayo. I was like, I know Tony.
I would have no respect for Joel as a New Jerseyan if he didn't know who Tony. You don't have to tell me a song. I just need you to know who he is.
Yeah, well, I knew G-Unit. I was a big G-Unit kid, and when I was growing up. So
look, I still to this day, whenever people go, "Oh, John Cena," I'm going, "No, that was Tony Yayo. That was all Tony Yayo. I was doing this because of Tony Yayo." So I'm like, yeah, that's Tony. Yeah. I don't get that.
Anthony Rizzo when he was on the Cubs, and I'm like, oh, I remember him now because he's a Yankee now. Right. So I'm like, I appreciated it a lot more.
Because you know what the end result was. So yeah, I could see that. So I'm glad you started Hot Ones. I actually just started because I watched the movie first, but I just started Reno 911. And it's literally The Office, but for cops. And it is literally the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I want to start from the beginning.
That's what I did. That's what I'm saying. That's what I did. I started from.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. It's on HBO Max, so you can start from the beginning. That's what I'm doing.
Are you getting paid?
You would think so. I would hope. But no. So it's on there. So I started from the beginning, and bro, they are like when you look at Michael Scott and you go, bro, like how stupid of a manager are you? That's what Reno 911. That's what the lead sheriff is. He's just like, how does anything get done here, bro? Like, what is happening here? Like, what? I don't understand, bro. There is an episode where they get an envelope with a white powder substance in it, and these motherfuckers are tasting it, trying to figure out what it is. And they go, I can't tell. Wait, taste it again. And then the guy walks in and he goes, drop it. That could be anthrax. And they're like, oh my God, I've eaten so much of this. Like, am I going to die? It's like, no, luckily for you, that wasn't really that, but it could have been. Bro, that show is so freaking hilarious. And then their newest movie on Paramount Plus only was Search for QAnon, where they're trying to find the head of QAnon.
I wanted to watch that too, yeah.
Bro, that movie is
It's a movie? I thought it was like
it's a movie. It's a movie, and it's legit them trying to find Mr. QAnon themselves. And when you see how it pans out, oh my God, it's so funny.
I'm looking forward to it.
And did you know, I don't know if maybe this was a joke, so maybe don't take me at full face value, but do you know who I found out was the EP of that show?
Who?
Danny DeVito.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's in one episode before the episode starts talking about how he is the executive producer. He's never seen an episode, but he's heard good things about it.
Oh, I did not see that.
But I just thought that was hilarious. They have so many great special guests on there. Patton Oswalt, to name one. There's just so many faces you'll see. What's his name? That voice, Samurai Jack. I can't think of his name. Oh my God!
I know you're talking about him.
Oh shit! Why can't I think of his? It's Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar. Lamar is in there. Really, anyone you remember from Mad TV is really in there. But the comedy in that shit is hilarious, bro.
It reminded me that saying that Danny DeVito never saw an episode and he's an EP. I remember they did an interview with Michael Keaton about Batman, and they're like, "When's the last time he saw Batman '89?" It's like, "Yeah, 1989." That's the last time he saw the movie. I was like, "What the fuck?" That's crazy.
Danny was like, when that was it, that was it. I said, no more. That's it. No, done. That's hilarious. Anytime you hear anyone say that, it's just like, I'm sorry.
You probably just don't like watching yourself on video.
I hope that's the case, because you shouldn't have forgot it as long as you've forgotten it. But all right.
Pretty much.
All right. Last thing I want to ask you before we get out of here. I asked Joe and Mike on their football show. And this isn't about the Giants, so don't worry.
I will fucking kill you.
I guess they enlightened me, but I guess I never knew this. Do you remember a player, Jared Allen, played for the Vikings? He was defensive end.
Yes, I do. Yes.
He's up for eligibility on being in the Hall of Fame this year. And when I heard the name, I said to them, I'm like, bro, I don't remember Jared Allen ever being effective enough to be in the Hall of Fame. And they're like, Juwaan, do you think Michael Strahan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah. He said, well, all right, well, Jared Allen has almost identical stats, just no Super Bowl. And I went, what? And sure enough, as I'm watching Steelers and Browns right now, because they're talking about how TJ Watt has 21 sacks, and the record is 22. Jared Allen, 22 in a season. Michael Strahan holds the record. Guess how many Jared Allen had?
How much?
22.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, well, okay, then I was wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
22, huh? Wow.
That's a lot. I think people.
I'm here happy about my rookie getting 5. I'm like, this shit.
TJ said, I got 21. And you know it has to hurt TJ. You remember when we were watching Kimba try to get the triple-double and people kept getting rebounds from him? I'm watching the Steelers game where I'm watching other Steelers defensive ends get sacks as TJ Watt is getting off of his guy. And if I'm TJ, I have to be looking at them like, I hate you. Don't ever talk to me. That was 22 right there you took from me. And then that was 23 right there you took from me. Like, you got? You're messing with my money here.
Did they talk Giants?
What? Oh, no. I'm sorry. I showed up late to the I woke up just feeling horrible, so I showed up late to the episode. So when I got there, they were just talking about the games of the week and surprises of the week. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I imagine they had to. They always do. But all right. So before we get out of here, you sure you don't want to talk any Knicks, any Giants, nothing? I'm leaving it up to you. If you say no, we end it. If you say yes, we talk Knicks or Giants. It's up to you.
I'll say one thing about the Giants.
Okay.
That was the worst offensive game I've ever seen in my entire life.
Bro, okay. Let me just say this really quick to give you a few minutes of reprieve. You had more yards Sunday than the Giants did. They ended up with negative yards.
Yeah.
Negative offensive yards. Yeah. So you, sitting at home, had more yards than the Giants did offensively. We talk about all the time. We're like, are you happy with Joe Judge and Daniel coming back next year? And I was 100% fine with it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they got fair shake, right? This is the first time after that game where I'm like, as a head coach, you cannot tell me you can't get a yard of offense. I don't care how bad that line, and it's bad. You can't tell me you can't figure it out. You can't throw one yard. That was incompetence at its best. And Mike Glennon is a bad quarterback. Mm-hmm. The signing was bad to begin with. Mm-hmm. Why did not just play Fromm? Just play him. He was terrible the week before, but fuck it, let the kid play. Well, you got it this week. They're sitting Glennon, so you got Fromm this
week. He broke his wrist or some shit. So Jake Fromm has no choice. Now he's gonna get. Look it, that line is not protecting anybody. So Jake Fromm has to play on the give. But at least he gets the ball out quicker. Fucking Glenn is like, oh.
I will say, Joe Judge is really lucky that they gave him the stamp of approval, or that the rumor that Adam Schefter was told was that he gotten the stamp of approval when he did.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you this, yesterday's game is the type of games that get you fired. 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. Get you fired. Doesn't matter. You could have won the Super Bowl last year. And finishing a game with negative offensive yards, get you fired. It just does. It has to. It should. It should get somebody fired. Water boy, equipment manager, the cheerleading manager. Someone has to go. Someone here.
I've never seen an offense so incompetent in my entire life. You know, it's funny though. It was some of the best running I've seen from Saquon all year, though. Like, I'll say
that's what it took. It took negative to make him go positive. That's what it took.
Oh man, he had like over 100 yards finally. It was bad, bro. I've never seen it. I'm like, there's no excuse. You have competent offensive players. Yes, the line is shit, but there's no way. There's no excuse. And then the way he came out. You can't tell me you saw something positive. It was only negative. The defense played well. They played okay. That's it. That was the only part. You could talk well about the defense that you put in very bad positions all game. Right. You know what I mean?
I have to imagine practice today. Joe Judge just said, "Hey, defense, do me a favor. Yeah, coach, just go home. Did we do something wrong? No. You did something right. You have the day off. Offense, you're all day. What do you mean all 24 hours we will practice an offense to make sure you guys don't do this again? Sorry. You guys aren't going home to your family. Sorry.
I just know why start Mike Glennon if you don't trust him to throw the ball? That's how I'm like, why start him? You have no trust in either of these fucking guys to throw a ball. That's terrible.
That's usually not a good sign for a quarterback you're asking to throw the football for you. Like, hey, we don't trust you to do that, so do me a favor and don't do that.
The only positive we've seen the last couple of years has been either from the defense or from the special teams. That offense has been absolutely dreadful.
Which I didn't say is funny because Joe Judge was the special teams and wide receivers coach. So I would assume special teams should be the one good thing.
I'd be worried about I would bitch about the wide receivers, but they're not getting the ball.
Right. And he's probably thinking to himself, well, I never said I was a quarterback coach.
Yeah, I'm not a quarterback coach. I never said it.
My receivers special teams.
So that's my rant on the Giants. I didn't really want to get into because that was frustrating. And I didn't mind losing because I want that pick. So any losses are good, but again, it was against the Bears, who also we have their pick.
Yeah, so you needed to win it.
It doesn't matter. We have our pick too, though. It's like either way, it's a win-win and a lose-lose. You know what I mean?
And only the Giants could ever be in situations like a win-win, lose-lose.
Like, the Jets go and fuck it up and lose to Tampa Bay at last minute. I'm like, you guys can't even just do this for us,
bro. I swear to God, Jets in the middle of that game remembered. Like, shit, we want a draft pick. Hold on. Yeah, defense, sit down. Let Brady win this. We forgot. We thought we were good for a second. Hold on. Let's reprise.
And then you have the Knicks. The Knicks were a thing this weekend.
Joel, I just want to remind you, you don't have to talk about this.
No, I need to let it out.
Okay, go ahead.
It was these two games have been so frustrating. So frustrating because they obviously have moments where they're playing well, but they can't defend worth a damn. And they look like chickens without heads on most of the time running the offense. It's bad.
To be fair, I will give them slack for Sunday's game, having literally no big men.
No, they do not. That's why they look rebound medal. But you guys got the rebound medal. I'm going to fuck who's out there. I know you don't have your guys. You can't tell me you can't no. You jump as high as OB jumps. You can't have 4 rebounds. No.
And start. You can't start and have 4 rebounds.
Right, you can't do that. No, I'm sorry, you can't.
You can come off the bench and have 4 rebounds.
No, I'm happy that he got 19 points. I was happy that he got 6 assists. Awesome. Motherfucker. I need rebounds. I do.
That's how angry Joel is. He sung the MF word. He didn't even say it. He sung it.
I was mad. Like, it was so frustrating. That game was so frustrating. And like seeing teams just drop threes like they with their eyes closed on us the last 2 games. Oh my, they're not even looking. They're just like, oh shit, by accident. I'm like, dude,
can I say this also? Those 2 games, I was looking for 2 things, right? Obi Toppin's still young, whatever. You got to learn. Cool, no problem. Yeah. I was expecting Fournier and RJ to go off. Even if we lost close, like, in the stretch, I was expecting those guys to go off. And I just didn't see that. And I'm like, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe it's not a Julius Randle thing. Maybe it's literally
obviously not a Julius.
They just don't know what to do at all.
The problem is, and it's obvious even without Julius, the reason that it's just he's not scoring, nobody can score.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the problem. So that's why we were winning before, because Kemba was scoring. When one of our guys is scoring, we're in a game. But Alec Burks can only do so much. You know what I mean?
Listen, Alec Burks is sitting somewhere going, look, y'all don't pay me starter minutes, so y'all gonna have to figure this shit out. I come off the bench, okay? That's what I did. And I'm tired of coming off the bench giving you 30. Can someone else do something? RJ, you start. Where's a 50 game from you? Where's a 40 game from you? Where's a 30 game from you?
RJ, I mean, I think I liked his game against OKC. I did not like his game against Toronto, even though he had moments where it was really good.
And you know what's really heartbreaking about losing to Toronto? Toronto is in a weird position to where they don't even have fans. So you're literally losing to a team who has no home field advantage.
But that was also, I think, the first game where they were fully healthy.
Oh, the Raptors?
Yeah, that's the first time I think I've seen that starting lineup.
Goodness gracious.
Honestly, because I'm like, that's the lineup I thought they would start, but they never start them because they're always someone's hurt.
Right.
This is the first time everybody was healthy. I was like, oh, of course, today's the day. Everybody's healthy for Toronto.
And of course, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just like, hey, I'm going to make sure I beat the Knicks. Then I'm going to make sure that
I'm out COVID.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with Shai, it was so frustrating watching him snake to the basket. So especially in a game where OKC could not miss. They just could not miss. They could not miss. They're the worst shooting team in the league, and they were fucking lights out that game.
Bro, and then I got even more upset because I'm like, all right, Julius is out because of COVID protocols. And then I see that he's doing a huge birthday bash for his son. And I'm just like, better not fucking caught that shit there. His birthday is not more important than us winning a championship, motherfucker. You got plenty more birthdays to do at his.
Well, luckily they cut the moratorium. I know Mitch and Sims are back, so so hopefully, how is Mitch back? I swear to God, he just got it.
I'm thinking, I know we got the report that all the Knicks were vaccinated, but if some,
they're all vaccinated, yeah,
right. But if some came back earlier than others, I have to assume that means either the symptoms weren't as drastic for those two as it was for Julius, I assume. Because to me, the only other way that makes sense is if Julius was not vaccinated and the other two just didn't show symptoms because they were vaccinated. They were just more so possibly carriers. So you had to sit out till you cleared it. But if Julius has it bad, that to me only sounds right if he was unvaccinated.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that is a little weird to me. I'm with you on that.
That was just frustrating. What I do want to do, maybe I don't know. We'll pick a game and I would like to analyze like the second half of the game or some shit, live. Like we'll do a live, meltdown.
I don't want people to see me cry live. Let's do it. I'm down. All right, before we go, I thought you might be interested to hear this. I know you said you didn't see day one, but this isn't really a spoiler for you because you would have come across it on Twitter somewhere. But at Royal Rumble, we will be getting Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. with the WWE Championship.
Jubilee.
Yes.
Jubilee.
I don't know what that means for Roman Reigns, who was not able to compete due to having COVID. And what makes it even more confusing is they're like, well, Brock Lesnar will be there Friday on SmackDown. It's like, I'm sorry, why? Because what I don't want you to do if you're WWE, don't have Lashley win the WWE title. Then Lesnar challenges Roman, beats Roman for it, and then we get Lesnar having 2 titles in the span of a month. No, thank you. No, thank you. Because then at that point, why have any other wrestlers? Just have
Lesnar. The WWE.
Yeah, it's becoming WWE Lesnar. That's what it's becoming. Just have Brock. Just have Brock. That's it.
Only Brock.
But huge shouts out to Ben Roethlisberger, who won his final game at Heinz Field.
Oh, sad day. Remember that. I've been there.
You've been there? You retired from football?
No, Eli retired. I remember.
Oh. I'm like, you've been there? You've played professional football and retired? I didn't know.
No, Eli. I mean, I've been in that position as a fan.
Sorry, mine refuses to retire, so I don't know what that feels like. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mine left and then continued to play.
Yeah, I'm about to say yours left. So yours walked a different road.
I'll tell you this: when he does retire, it'll feel very apropos. Like we were waiting. Like we didn't know how long you were going to keep going, but okay. Is there any playoff game? Do you know the seedings?
No idea. No, I don't know if I care.
I was just about to say you don't care, so it doesn't matter. All Joel hopes for is that New England doesn't make it to a Super Bowl, and neither does the Cowboys. So that's all Joel.
Yeah, that's it. As long as that happens, I don't really care shit what happens.
Yeah, and look, Joel doesn't even care that the Patriots is my team. He doesn't even care from a French.
Oh, no, about.
Yeah, look at that. I root for the Giants weekly. You know how sick that makes me? But I do it for you.
That's such a jinx. That's all you are.
Bro, because a small part of me does feel as though I am a jinx. I can't even lie to you. Small part of me is just like, yeah, at some point it'll feel right robbing me of a perfect season. The 2011 one you can have. But that perfect season, you making the Dolphins the only team to go undefeated will always haunt me. Always.
It wasn't going to be on us. That's all. As long as it wasn't on us.
Yeah, so I will do my best. Yeah, I'll do my best to root for them till the day I die. And if it works in my favor that they never win anything ever again, so be it. You know, so be it. That's the way the cookie crumbled that day. I can live with that. But all right, so that's all me and Joel got for you guys. We ended the show on hate. You know,
a hard week. It's been a very hard week for me.
Like you guys wouldn't believe. Like you just would not believe. But all right, so next time you guys see us, we will be broken down episode 2 of Book of Boba. If there is a Young Justice episode, we'll have broken that down. And any other news that comes from that. But the CW shows are next week, so we'll have already shot our episode before any of the new episodes air. So we'll unfortunately have to wait 2 more weeks to hear our thoughts on that. So then, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in to an all-new episode of Much Ado About Nothing. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. Till then, peace.